Are you like? How's your crowd service? I've never seen you perform.
It's actually really good, but I need like an actual like crowd to
talk to.
For my show when I first did, it was cool. Like for my own show when I dropped the album, like 60 people there. So it was a cool amount, so I could talk to the crowd.
Right.
All right. Shit, well, how'd you guys all meet then?
Oh man,
well, shit, yeah, give me the backstory.
Yeah, let's see. I'll start with Rel because that's who we were just talking to. So Rel, I met last year? Or was it 2023? It was at a night out, like one of the first night out, maybe the first night out event.
I think it was
with Bass Kids and Jordan.
Yeah.
And I just took pics of him. I didn't even know who he was, but I figured out who he was after I took the pics. I was posting them. I didn't know. I took pics of Highway. I didn't even know who Highway was at that time. I knew who Highway was. I didn't know what he looked like. And so I just posted, everyone, like I was asking around, like, who's this person? I'm trying to tag Rel, who I didn't know who Rel was, and tagged him, started following him, fuck with his music. We have mutual friends. Heard you. And now we just been rolling together with my road dog E. That's my guy for real. That's Ethan E. He goes on like every single shoot with me.
Got you.
Always together. That's my guy. So that's my B cam guy. So anytime we're going like a big budget shoot and we need more than one camera, he's with it. He also models in like every one of my things. He's like it's like I look better because I get to shoot with him all the time. You know what I'm saying? If I move with these guys all the time, like I can shoot anything, and like they're so pretty and well dressed that it just will work. Y'all too toxically masculine. I can't call a man pretty. You guys crazy.
Yeah,
that's the story.
No, it's filthy though. So when it comes to just all the photography and all that, so what'd you get into? I guess what art form you get into first? Was it like photography, modeling?
Definitely videos. I got into videos first. I've been making videos since middle school. I would make skits in middle school with like a little flip camera. Me and a bunch of guys in high school like made this thing called video production, where it was like we would just go around with like a big Sony camera that was like shoulder mounted, so it felt super badass.
Yeah, that's filthy.
And just go around to school and make videos, and like that's kind of how I got into it. Photography kind of just came as more of a need for the business. Like I like taking photos and it's fun, but video is like really where my love is. And I had like a Call of Duty YouTube channel and like a gaming channel back in middle school and shit. And I just been always doing that. And then I went to college and graduated, worked normal jobs, and was just like doing this for fun. And then one day quit my last job before I started working for myself, and I was like, I'm just gonna try and provide my services to those who need it, and that's what I've been doing for the past 2 years.
Got you.
Yeah.
And so if you could theoretically talk to yourself, like say for 5 years ago, I guess like what things would you tell yourself? Or it wouldn't even have to be necessarily you talking to yourself, but someone in your shoes that you were in 5 years ago.
I think it's just like you gotta try. Like put yourself out there. Like I've been saying for a long time, like, I could do this.
Yeah.
And even if that's true, if I have not proven it to people, it like almost doesn't have like the value when you're looking at it from like, how do I make money off of something I love, right? Like that's the dream, right? Do something you love, you never work a day in your life. So it's like I would just tell myself, obviously I'm better now than I was before, but if I really started trying to do this 5 years ago, imagine where I'd be. Like my growth in the last 12 months has been like pretty great. So I'm like, bro, if I was in year 5 of this, it would be a different story. But there's like, I have 4 little sisters, and I even talked to them about this. Like, you should, it's so realistic to make money from social media now and from your phone. Like you don't even need a camera.
No, that's fact. iPhone and shit.
Exactly. Like, bro, just use your iPhone. It's so easy. And they're like, oh, but it's embarrassing to post. Like, it's embarrassing to put myself out there. It's embarrassing to like, what if I look stupid? What if people are saying like, oh, look at this guy trying to make it big. Look at this girl trying to make it big. No one cares, because as soon as you get popping, then everyone thinks it's cool. Then you're cool. But it's like until then, while you're trying to be great, everyone's like, man, look at this guy trying to be great. And then as soon as you're great, then they're like, damn, bro, I've been cheering for you. Yeah, I've been since day one, bro, high school. It's like, okay. Like, I'm sure you were, but it's like, I have a lot of great people around me. But yeah, to answer your question, I would just say, like, start earlier. Like, don't be afraid of the judgment of others, because they all want to be doing the same thing. Like, the stuff that we're doing is like what everyone that I know wants to do. You know what I mean? Make money off of social media and travel the world, taking content and meeting cool people and like having great experiences and finding a way to make a living off of it. So, man, start earlier.
Right, that's facts.
Yeah.
And, like you were saying, just along the lines of, you had to, or just starting earlier.
Yeah.
I guess what was the process like for you when it came to even starting your business or even taking the right footsteps? Because we could easily pick up a camera and be like, oh yeah, I'm a videographer.
Right, yeah.
But when was it like, oh shit, when was that moment where you're like, damn, I got to choose between, like you said, you quit your job.
Right.
So what was that, I guess, what were the external factors?
It was basically like I was working a job that I thought was going to be like the basis of my life. Like I was going to start here. I was going to own a supplement store, and then I was going to hire employees, and then I was going to like have an income from that, and then I was going to go do this. And I just didn't agree with the work environment and whatnot, so I decided to quit, and I had a drop for my clothing brand that I just call like a self-funding art project because I drop so infrequently. But I just had a drop for my clothing brand, and I said I'm going to use this as an opportunity to build a portfolio. Just like I was saying, even if you know you can do it, you have to have, like, you got to prove it. Like, you got to have the portfolio, right? Nobody wants to hire you to do something you've never done before. That's what I always say to like people when I'm giving them advice. So I just said, all right, I'm going to go hard on this. I had some money saved up. So I was like, I got basically like 2-3 months of savings. So like I have that amount of time to like do this clothing drop, hopefully make some money off of it, right? Like that'll give me some money. And then use that portfolio that I built to go find clients.
Gotcha.
And that's what I did. I got really, luck is when opportunity and preparation meet, right? So it's like I was ready for it, and I was able to provide my services to clients right off the bat. I was fortunate enough to find people who needed my services right away. So it didn't take me too long. I got 2 clients. I retainered them. This is an informational podcast. So I got a retainer for, it was like $2,000 a month and $1,000 a month. And then I had another client who I'd already been working with that was at like $800 a month. So then I was like off rip. I was like, okay, making $3,800, gross. Like I wasn't even really privy to taxes of self-employed people at that time. But I was like, shit, I'm making $3,800 a month. Like I'm like I can pay all my needs with that. So I was good. Which also put me into like a different space of like there was a period of time where I was kind of just like coasting, like not really trying to better myself. But yeah, that's how I started. And yeah, I mean the most important thing like when I was starting is just like what's realistic services that I don't want to sell people bullshit, right? Like I've always worked in sales forever, so I know it's like easy for me to sell myself, service wise to people. But like what's actually something that people need, and a lot of small businesses, I'm from Olympia, so all the small businesses around there, they don't exist on social media, they don't have a presence, but especially like younger business owners, they know how important social media presence is. So I just go to them and I'm like, hey, you have I have a connection to them somehow. And we're talking in an event. I go to networking events and I'm just like talking to people there. And plus, if you walk around with that camera, people come to you. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a magnet for people who need a videographer or a camera person. So it's like I walk around with that thing and like we made a connection today for a shoot that we're doing on Saturday that now we have like an incredible set for free. Just because we had the camera and they asked us to come over to the pop room. We were like, sure.
Oh, damn.
So it's lit, but yeah, just like what's realistic services you can provide. Like I was lucky enough that I already knew how to take photos and videos, so and I understand social media better than most 40-year-olds, which is like not most people my age can understand social media better. So I had an immediate service to provide, and I would go and I would shoot for them, and I would give them hundreds of pictures. I was providing them a ton of stuff at first, way over providing, giving them way more than they asked for, just because I needed the business so bad. And then like I've obviously it's gone a lot like this since that start, but that's how I started, and it's the same basic concept now. What services can I provide to people, and like you can it's very valuable depending on who you're providing those services to. You know what I mean? Like directing a campaign for a company like a small clothing brand that makes $2,000 per drop, like that's fun. And then you work with companies that are doing $100 million or like $50 million, and it's like, okay, someone to be really on their game for them is worth way more, because if someone does really good for them, that's the difference in making $5 million, $10 million, $20 million that is versus we might make $1,500 or $2,000. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? So the stakes are higher. So like the pressure is higher, but that's where you like start making your money, right? You're the brain behind a lot of these big companies and stuff like that.
I mean, that's part like, of the brain. But I feel like that's the same analogy when it's like when they talk about the water bottle. Depending on where it's at, is how much you can sell it for,
Exactly. So, it's just supply and demand. Like, I'm moving to New York in March.
Oh, shit.
But a lot of the reason of that is I want to put so much care behind every single thing that I shoot and so much detail, because I want the next thing I shoot to always be the best thing. It's always we already did something, always do something better. And when you're working for like minimum budgets in a small town because people don't have large budgets, it's nobody's fault, but it's just like they don't have the money to invest. Every time I do a shoot, I have to drive an hour to Seattle. You know what I mean? Like I have to go to Seattle at least. And New York, everything is connected by the subway, and everyone has big budgets. You know what I mean? Like we have people. Ethan and I were doing a shoot in Oregon, in Portland, like 2 weeks ago or something like that. And a guy from the Nike branding team happened to be a coach on the football team we were shooting for. But he came over to us, and we had 2 of the A7 IVs, and we were gimbaled up, and we were looking professional. And he asked us, he was like, "What do you charge to like just shoot an event?" And I was like $2,500, to shoot an event. And he was like, "Oh shit, that's cheap." Like, they was like, "Oh, we're gonna book with you then because most of these agencies charge $20,000." So it's all relative, right? I'm cheap to some people, but in like to somebody in Portland or Seattle or New York, like they're like, "Oh, that's a great deal for us." But then like you are in Olympia and you quote the same exact price, and they're like, "We don't have $800 to spend on social media," and I'm like, well, "I don't know what to tell you," because you know what I mean?
No, that's fact.
So it's just like, I gotta go where the opportunity is, the money is, and New York is the most iconic city in the world. So I'm like, the content should it'll flow there. People will send their clothes to us just to shoot it in New York. And if they're like a European country or a company and they just want to be seen in that environment. So
I mean, shit, that's a really start though. I mean, shit, from March.
I appreciate
New York.
you.
Hey, what part of New York though?
We'll be in Brooklyn. I was living in Manhattan this summer, and that's like when I really fell in love with it. I lived there with my girlfriend for a little over 2 months, and we lived in like East Harlem, like Manhattan. It was awesome though. Loved it. Had a little studio, and fell in love with it. And the company that I creative direct for, and who's like by far my biggest client, Fused. We're shooting stuff for them right now, and they're expanding to New York next year too. Is like one of their states. So just gonna like try and be the guy for them there, and keep growing the production business, and just keep taking more and more clients and growing the team and shit. So
that's about to be filthy.
That's planned. I appreciate it. You have to come out.
Yeah, I mean, shit. I've been there once. I was out in Brooklyn actually. The B was in Brooklyn.
Good.
So
Brooklyn's far.
Okay.
It's way more reasonable to live in Brooklyn. Like Manhattan is crazy. It's not. I can't.
That's just like fucking.
I'm selling my car. Like
you can't do nothing.
No.
You're stuck. You're gonna be stuck by the subway.
Bro. Subway's actually kind of a vibe, low key. I can fuck with it. I can fuck with the subway.
It smells like ass down there though.
It does.
Like some of those stations, I don't know if you.
Bro, it's so humid too. That's why it smells so like ass, bro. Because you get to that rush hour time and everyone's just sweaty as hell, and they're all crammed like sardines in there. And it's just like,
and the airflow's coming through that one
so
thing.
Bad. Yeah, bro, just pushing it. It's like, man,
it's like a
get
little
me out of here. Love it though. No.
I mean, shit, I hated it to love it though.
Yeah, no, that's the plan. So be there for a little bit and then figure it out from there.
Got you. And how are you able to just balance your your social life, your regular life and your work life? Because as an entrepreneur, you gotta be the one who's be like, damn, I gotta do this, this, and like. I
think honestly, like, I think it kind of goes into that thing where it's like you have to pick 2 of the 3 things, which is like, if you're grinding, like really trying to achieve things at an accelerated rate, like that takes time and energy that has to come from somewhere. And I don't really take time away from myself. Like I always get my sleep. I always, take time for myself. Like I like to hang by myself most of the time. Otherwise I'm with E and Rel and like, my boys Dell and Meek and stuff like that. But like my circle's pretty small. Like I used to throw house parties because I didn't want to go out. So, but I wanted like a social experience. So I would make everyone come to my house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I don't have to worry too much about the social aspect, thankfully, because like, this is social for me. You know what I mean? I like talking and conversing with people, but in this kind of environment. And like going out and shoots.
Not like hella people.
Yeah, it's like we're not gonna have a real conversation, and like we might end up becoming business partners by the end of this because of this type of environment. But like it's rare that you're just like out and it's just like hella loud and you're like doing stuff. So I'm just like focused on like my work right now. I hang out with my girlfriend a lot when she's around, but she's in France right now, so it's she goes to school out there. She's getting her master's. So
like study abroad or what?
She goes to a French university getting her master's. She's in France, and I'll go out there. I'm going out there in a couple weeks to France and Paris and stuff, and we're gonna hang out there.
That seems active. That's one place I need to go over to like shit.
Like Europe and
anywhere,
shit?
Like,
Have you been to Europe at all?
Nah. My homie, what? He just told me, yeah.
It's so crazy. Like, it's such a, like, you gotta go see it. But it's real. It's real. You gotta go see it. Especially, bro, going to summer. You can even pick, like, bro, we stayed at a hostel in this place in Italy called Genoa. So it was like, you could sleep 6 people in this place. It was like a private room at a hostel. So it wasn't like we were bunking with people. But we had like a whole ass suite. And it was like $100 a night.
Damn.
It was so cheap. It's just like everyone there is like our age, and they're all like digital nomads. So everyone's there like on their laptops working, and they have like a bar, and like they're playing live music. They got projectors with all the sports teams on. Because hostels now are just like for people like us who are young, traveling, and don't want to spend a shit ton of money on a fancy hotel. Like we're gonna be outside anyways. You know what I mean? Like we're not gonna be inside the hotel chilling the whole time. Like it's a vibe. Like it's way more reasonable. Like I just got my ticket to Paris for $500. It's like way more. Like if you look and you're planning like far enough in advance, you can. I know it's like money's relative, right? Like this is amount is small to some people and big to some people, but you could easily. I feel like you could spend a week in Europe for like $2,000.
Yeah.
So
plan it out.
Yeah, so if you're planning like half a year in advance, like you know, put a little money aside every month, save up a little bit.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So.
And what would you say out of all the places you've traveled through videography and photography? What's the best places to, at least for like scenery or cinematics and all that?
While I was in Italy, I really liked the Dolomites. I post about that on Instagram like pretty normally. Like it's like the Italian Alps. So they always talk about like the Swiss Alps, but it's basically just like right across on the Italian border.
Oh shit!
And so it's just like huge mountains covered in snow, beautiful blue lakes, a lot of trees. That's gorgeous. Milan's really pretty. Rome's really pretty. It's all in Italy. I've left. It's funny. I've left the country twice, and both times were to Italy, just different places. So yeah, like all the places I've been are in Italy until I go to France. But yeah, I would say, I mean, anywhere in Italy. The crazy thing is you can see so much shit just in Italy. Like just driving around there, taking trains around there. We rented a little Fiat Panda, and we drove from that place in Genoa that I was talking about. We were at the hostel. We drove. I think that's where we were, and then we drove like 7 hours. Through the mountains. 7 hours. It was a long drive, bro. It was not supposed to be 7 hours. We were driving a Fiat Panda, so it took a little longer. Bro, I was flooring it, and I could barely hit 60 miles per hour. So I was
oh God, you hear the engine roaring and shit.
Bro, it was a struggle, but yeah, no, I'd say the Dolomites are fire because I like the wilderness, like Pacific Northwest, and I love water. Water's dope. Yeah. Like I want to eventually like live on a beach town somewhere.
Like what? Miami, Cali?
Probably Cali. Probably like a San Diego kind of vibe. Like I want it to be a city and like have this stuff. I even I also even like Cannon Beach in Oregon, like real small. Yeah. But that would be like when I'm older. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like there's levels. Exactly. That's probably when I'm like 40, 50, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna work a little less and something like that. Shoot, I'd love to be not working by the time I'm 50.
I feel like that's a dream.
Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice.
You don't got to worry about it.
That's a new goal of mine by like 40, 50 to be like, yeah, I don't need to do this anymore.
Gotcha.
We'll see.
Yeah. And growing up, because it seems like for the most part, I mean, as like what you're saying and all that, it sounds like you've been hustling. Like at least with the merch, photography, videography, all that.
Yeah.
So I guess like what's something that's like, I guess like vivid in your mind first time that you started just hustling, and you might have not even known it at the time, whether it be at school selling snacks or some shit, or
I don't even know if it's like the hustling aspect specifically that like speaks to me. I'm really good at figuring out how to make money off of something I want to do. That's what I'm good at. Like I really like executing on big projects. That's why I really like designing like clothing campaigns or like any kind of shoot that you really have to design. Music videos, I love like planning a music video and scripting it and it coming together and stuff like that, like setting up shots. And really like what I've just gotten good at is like, okay, well, I really want to do this and I really want to invest a lot of time and energy into this. Like, how do I make money off it? Yeah. Clothing, like doing a clothing drop from start to finish, if you're really doing like a theme drop and you're doing like cut and sew, even if you're not doing cut and sew garments, but like especially if you're doing cut and sew garments, like hiring a designer, because like I hire out for a lot of stuff. I outsource a lot. I spent like $1,700 outsourcing shit yesterday because I just can't keep up with editing. So like I'm pretty realistic about that. Like I know where my shortcomings are and like who's really like I have a 3D renderer that I work with all the time. I'm not gonna learn 3D rendering ever because I have him. You know what I mean? I'd rather put money in his pockets. I tell all my friends all the time, I wish one of my friends was like a nasty video editor that like needed a job so bad, because I could like throw, I could throw them so much work right away. But yeah, I think it's just like, you know, doing a clothing drop start to finish is so rewarding. Like there's nothing like it, especially because like I shoot all the marketing material, like I do everything. And watching that come together is really the super satisfying thing. But for me, again, it takes so much time and energy that I'm like, well, I have to get like something back out of this, or else it's like not reasonable for me to spend this much time and energy on it. So then I'm like, okay, well, you know, make clothes and sell them for a markup that's enough that I can justify doing it. Or again, with this stuff, it's like I want to shoot videos and like take pictures all the time. So if I want to go do something and it costs money, I'm like hitting up brands and I'm like, yo, I'm going to, like, even for Paris, when I go there, I have brands that I'm going to work with, and not in Paris, but I'm going to take their products to Paris. Suddenly they have a Paris campaign. Okay. No, they don't. I just went to Paris and took their stuff in my suitcase. But they don't, you know, to other people, that's incredibly valuable. So yeah, just like, how do I make money off the stuff I want to do is like what I've gotten good at. But the money comes, it's a motivator to like obviously be comfortable. But really you just have to be like, I want to build a great business, or I want to provide a great service. That's really what it is. Not even build a great business. I want to provide a great service. And if you do that well, then someone else will hire you, and then someone else will hire you, and then someone else will hire you. And eventually your time is worth more because you're being booked for more, and you have more expensive equipment, and you have a bigger portfolio, and then your price just slowly goes up and up and up. And then, you know, eventually you're not worrying about the money anymore. But you have to make a great product, or else you won't get more business. Like, even if you landed a $10,000 deal on your first deal and then you shit the bed, you'll never get another deal like that. Because everyone's gonna be like, why would I trust you with my money? Versus like, yeah, I mean, I spent a little more than I wanted to with this guy, but man, he killed it. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, cool.
No, that's facts.
You know, then their friends book me. You know, that's like how I get a lot of business, is just word of mouth, because people like working with me, I guess.
I mean, at the end of the day too, it's like like you said, your product's gonna speak for itself. And it's like, I mean, I've seen on your Instagram and shit, just a quick, you know, just a little scene through the shit you be doing, but all the shit quality.
Thank you, bro.
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, keep doing the shit you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And we're just trying to get better and better, bro. Like, we got so much stuff coming up, and so much big shoots. Like, next year is going to be a wicked year. Like, the last 12 months has been crazy, but the next 12 months is going to be, I think it'll surely be the craziest 12 months of my life, for sure. I mean, shit, got to keep on leveling up. That's what I don't want to level out or anything like that now. It's a little too early for that. So this year, though, what's been the craziest thing so far for you? Whether it be... I signed a deal, like, this is money-based, but it's also career-based. I signed a deal with a company who... It like changed my life, basically, like for a client, or like a retainer client, you know what I mean? Like for close to like a year and a half, every single month was like, I got to go find work or else I won't be able to pay the bills type shit. So it's like, that's a great motivator, you know what I mean? And because you have to do it. So it's like, you know, I'm going out there every month, and I had some close calls, and there were some months that were like easier than others, but I could never like just be like, I'm not doing shit this month or whatever, you know? I had to go out actively and find stuff. And then I pitched myself to this company for this position because I thought they needed it, and also I was moving to New York, and I was like, I need to know like what I'm doing, you know what I mean? So like, I'm gonna offer my services to this company, like basically like a full-time employee, which I haven't done before since working for myself. Everything's pretty small. But I'll offer myself, you know, like full services to them, and it's just like, I don't invoice them. Like, I shoot for them for free all the time, and they pay me a flat amount of money, but it's an amount of money that I don't really, like, if I didn't want to work for anyone else ever again, like as long as they were paying me, I'd be fine. You know what I mean? And like, I could chill off that healthily. So that's been great, because that's allowed me to like, again, outsource work. Like, I'm getting out from under a lot of stuff, because I now I can really start being more creative. When you're constantly making stuff for other people, you don't have the creative energy to make stuff for yourself, and you feel bad. Like, I feel bad when I have client work sitting in the queue, and I'm like, but I want to edit something for me, and it's like, well, they paid me though. But at the same time, it's like, I have to do that as a creative. Like, I have to like just express myself in my free time. You know what I mean? But yeah, I would say that, because it's just allowed me to like really breathe and be like, oh, what do I want to do besides survive? Because that's really all I've been focused on. It's just like, how do I survive off of this? And now it's like, how do I get rich off this? Now it's how do I get rich off this? Now it's how do I build my team? How do I turn this into something where I can I can give this kind of deal that I got to someone like Ethan or someone like Moss, my 3D renderer. Like, I want to get them cashed out now. You know what I mean? Like, I already am providing the services, and now if they can provide services, we can get them a deal too. We can
start breaking bread.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I want to bring my boys around me. Plus, it's so hard for me to trust people. Like, in general, but also just like in a work sense. Like, my name is on everything, so it's really hard for me to be like, hold the camera. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you could change my settings. You could do a really shitty frame. Like, you can really just out of focus, and it's like trashed. So, you know, the people that I work with, like Ethan, you know what I mean? He's been on so many shoots with me, and he's like just does like whatever needs to be done every time. Never complains. We're out there in the hail, and like it's 30 degrees, and he's just chilling, and he's like, yeah, that was pretty fun. You know what I mean? So it's like. Okay. Those are the people I want to work with. I say this all the time. And, my boy Ike, shout out Ike. Shout out Ike. Shout out Ike. Yeah, shout out. Okay. We talk about this all the time. Like, you know, when we're looking to hire people for Infused, it's like it's more about the type of person you are than the skills you even bring sometimes. Like, if you are a hustler, we would want to work with you more than if you're just like a really good accountant, but you like don't give a fuck, and you're just like, yeah, this is just my day job and whatever. You know what I mean? Because it's like everyone that works at Infused, for example, is super in on it. You know what I mean? Like, everyone is really like, oh, this is like a huge thing. This could be a huge thing. Like, y'all are gonna see some crazy shit next year. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean?
That's what Ike been saying too.
I wish I could tell you. But it's just gonna be crazy. And so it's like everyone on the team is so like, I'm bought in. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's good for like, it's like, that's what you get from like startup small team stuff. But I mean, it's funny because it's like startup small team stuff, but they're, you know, worth 9 figures. Yeah. I mean, shit. It's a lot of figures.
It just matters, you know, the workplace, how the know, chemistry, and make sure everybody's on board.
Yeah, because it's like I worry about coming off as too much to a lot of people, but the people at Infused, and you know, from what I can tell, they all really appreciate that I like care, that I am passionate. Yeah. I come off as annoying to people who are just like, this is just my job, bro. Like, I don't care. It's good enough. You know what I mean? So like those people I really don't get along with. The people that are like, bro, I'm just here to collect my paycheck. Like, I'm never gonna get along with those types of people, because I'm like, get a new fucking job, bro. Like, I don't want to talk to you. You know what I mean? Like, I have to interact with you because you're in this position, but you like actively are making me not want to be here. You know what I mean? Okay. So it's just like, I just want to work with people that are down to work. You know what I mean? Early mornings, shit, late nights, but it's not even always like that. Like. It's a lot of work. Like, I work 7 days a week, but some days I work, you know, 3-4 hours, and then I'm like, I'm gonna take the rest of the day off because I think I need it. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I just want to bring my boys with me and like have a great team that I know I can rely on them in the pinch. Because I don't know, you hire someone off Indeed or LinkedIn or something like that, and it's like, I don't really know you. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's also hard to work with friends. You probably know that.
Yeah. No, but I feel like I'm in the same boat though, because it's like, for me, I know there's so much money to be made, and a lot of times it's like you really need a team at the end of the day. You can't do everything by yourself. So it's like, I mean, you met Chris City already, but even with him, it's just like, I already told him, I was like, shit, whether I get or when I do get this $1 million deal, shit, or whatever deal or money, just know that you're getting a big chunk of that.
Gotta bring them because it's like part of your shit. Like, if you want to really be pumping stuff out and you want to be a brand. I was talking to my friend Logan, shout out, she loves LPC, and he was like, oh, you know, should I post should I focus all my efforts on Instagram or TikTok or like YouTube in this, or just TikTok or whatever? And I was like, well, if you're making reels for Instagram, you're making TikToks or vice versa. So like, you might as well post it on both. But I was like, you got to keep in mind, like, you're not trying to grow an account, you're trying to grow a brand. Like, there's musicians who have less than 1 million followers who are absolutely out earning your favorite artist because they are independent and they have a team around them. Like, bro, Mike, I don't know if you know who that is. Just Mike. He used to be Mike Stud. That guy is like he's like the blueprint.
I think I heard his name.
He used to play baseball at Duke, and he lives in Cali now. But but
I think I heard it.
Yeah, I'm sure you've heard of some of his music. But he makes great music. But the guy is like independent. They basically started their own like Patreon / like OnlyFans type like subscription, but it's like for his exclusive music and like exclusive content and that kind of thing. And bro, he's living in like a mansion, and like, you know, you haven't heard of him, you know what I mean? But he's like, he's got a team around him and they produce everything in house, and like that's how you got to do it. You see so much more money that way. Like you can monetize yourself so much better. That's fact. It's great. Obviously, label deals are different because you got to like outweigh or you got to weigh out your options and what's good for you and what's not. But that's he's probably my favorite example because he's built a brand around himself, but then through that they have Chug Bud, which is like a drinking device that like Travis Kelce and Steph Curry have been using and stuff like that. And they have Keep Going, which is a clothing brand. And they have Stevenson Ranch, which is a clothing brand and a hat line. And they have like so many things. And it's like they have like, 8 or 9 probably income streams. And versus, your favorite artist whose streaming is their only income stream because they don't have a team around them to help them make all the other shit. Yeah, you simply as a human don't have time to have 9 income streams that are like constantly growing and everything. You know what I mean? There's so much work that has to go into that. So yeah, the team is absolute necessity. Necessity.
Oh shit! Everybody better listen to that one again. Shit. Oh, God.
Yeah, replay that part.
Oh, God. But shoot, so on this part on the podcast, I try to make this little segment where basically it's kind of like a time capsule. So say. Shit, a year from now. What day is it today? The 30th?
What is the day? I don't even know what the day is.
What day is it?
Is it the 14th? Yeah. It's the 14th.
Yeah, November 14th. All right, so by next year,
yep.
November 14th, you could look back at this podcast.
Yes.
What are some goals that you got for yourself, either like business-wise, personally, physically and mentally, spiritually, financially, all that? Like, I guess what are some goals that you want to set for yourself so you can look back a year from now, be like, oh shit, did I achieve those?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question. Well, I'm really excited to move to New York in March. So like I've never lived outside of Washington, so that's like the biggest thing I'm excited for. And moving there, and like I really want to try and get like a studio in New York, like a creative studio / office space. And I'm really excited. I want to go not only just live in New York, but I want to start establishing myself in New York. You know what I mean? Like people start recognizing like my work, not me, necessarily, but like my work, starts, people being like, oh yeah, he shoots crazy New York content and stuff like that. So that would be really special to me. Honestly, a little sappy, but I'm excited to live with my girlfriend for the first time. We've been doing distance for a long ass time, so that'll be great to like really get to do that. And FMF Productions, I just want it to I want it to be a team. I want it to actually have a solid team of core members. Right now, it's a lot of bringing people on for projects because the work is enough for me, but it's not enough to support everybody like as a full-time job, right? Yeah. So I would really like to grow the company to a size where we have enough clients, retainer clients, or projects that are coming in that people like Ethan or people like Moss or whatever can my real dream is like I don't know if it'll happen in a year. I hope, but like I want to move the team out to New York. Like I want the studio that I get to be like an office / creative space that like I have enough that we can like bring, I'm not saying I'm going to be paying everyone $100,000 a year, but like, you can come out to New York and like, but also get your bag. You know what I mean? Like Moss, for example, he's a 3D renderer. I would never want him to stop taking on extra clients, but like come here and work with us. And then like you can, make some livable wage and then you can like get rich off of like your side clients because you can charge whatever you want. So yeah, I would just like want to grow the team, keep growing with M-Fuse, man. Like I'm so grateful for those guys. Like really, like I love the team. I love everyone there. Big shout out to Jeff. Big shout out to Morgan and Taylor and JD and Dylan. And like that whole team is legendary. I already shouted out Ike and those guys, but yeah, like those. I love those guys. They really accept me for who I am, and that means a lot to me. So I just wanted to shout them out for that. But yeah, I really think it's about getting in New York and like. I don't want to be like at the end of the year be like, I'm finally settled. I want to be like, yeah, I'm here and I've been settled and I'm already growing. Like we're already going crazy here. Like by June, I fully anticipate being like well in the mix. Like I better be in the mix because that's prime shooting time. So
I mean,
that's really it. Like I want the graph. The graph started like year 1, right? And it kind of went like this, and then it went like this, and then it went like this, and I want it to go like way up there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, that's probably what I would say. I just really want to kill it out there. Kill it out there.
I mean, I feel like those are good goals. Great goals, honestly.
Appreciate it.
Shit, go back to it next year. You see if you hit the checkpoint or type.
I also want to work on being more present. I'm always living in the future. I'm always trying to figure out.
But that's because you got so much shit going on.
That's fair.
I'm already.
I kind of have to be in the future. Low key, you're right. But yeah, I just like. I just picked up a book on Zen and like Zazen meditation and like just trying to be super present because I'm actively like, I'm always like, oh, what do I got to do tomorrow? What do I got to do next weekend? You know what I mean? Like, people ask me to hang out and I'm like, I don't think I have time until like mid-December. You know what I mean? Like I have